Hello everybody, welcome to another Facebook Live with Jeannie. I'm Jeannie Nielsen, the card lady, and very excited to be here with you today. Sorry, I'm a tiny bit late. UPS, the brown truck, just arrived with another Stampin' Up! Package for me, and he has started giving the dogs treats, and the dogs know it, so they're at the door and they're barking because they can't get to the treat, they can't get to him, so I had to wait. So anyway, I'm very excited to be here with you today, coming to you a day early. And why am I a day early? Well, I'm having some dental work done tomorrow. And although I have a friend that said that she would pay money to see me after my dental surgery with the anesthesia and all my conscious sedation on board, I'm not going to do that to you. So I'm already silly enough sometimes. So I am very excited to talk to you today about faux shaker cards. Now, I don't know if any of you have heard of faux shaker cards, but a faux, F-A-U-X, is a kind of a false, a pretend, not real. We know that our usual shaker cards are done with the adhesive strips, and they're popped up. And let me tell you, I don't have great luck with that. I don't have great luck at all. Either the sequins or the beads or whatever will slip out and underneath that adhesive, or they'll stick to the adhesive and it won't shake at all. So came up with a different idea. Actually, it's not my idea. It's been all over, but it's really, really cool. And I want to show you first my card, which is one of the cards that we're making in my Peaceful Cabin card class tomorrow night. This is my favorite, probably of just about all times card. I just love it. So I'm gonna flip down so that you can see it not backwards, but this is what it looks like. So it's so beautiful. So it uses the Peaceful Places specialty designer paper. And I use the designer paper inside, behind, to showcase that because it's just so pretty. Why not use the designer paper to actually showcase or be the focal point of the card? I don't have to do any stamping, or at least minimal stamping. What it is a piece of designer paper slipped inside of one of our clear cellophane envelopes, the medium clear translucent envelopes. They're in the regular packaging part of the catalog, you know, with your regular basic white and very vanilla envelopes. This is the same size. And in fact, most people use these cards for swaps. It protects the cards. It showcases the card, so it's really, really pretty. They're really high quality envelopes. But anyway, so I'm going to read everybody's comments later because I don't have my glasses on yet, so I can't see, but I am going to respond to everybody's comments. So please comment. Please tell me how much you like the cards, how much you like seeing me, anything. Like my video, share my video. Let me show you the card again. So this uses the stitched So Sweetly dies, my favorite of all time dies. If this one retires, I'm going to be so sad. This is part of these packages of dies. I love the rectangles. I don't use the rectangles enough, although I am going to use it on a card today. I use the labels more than anything, and especially, really especially, this is the primary shape that I use just about all the time. 9 times out of 10, I'll go to that for a card. So let me tell you a little bit about how I made this card. So this card is on Smoky Slate. That's the base, 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it at 4 1/4. Then it's on a piece of basic gray. So I am going to flip down and show you a card that I've started to make. Not sure how it's going to work, and then I'll be able to show you this card a little bit more too. If you like this card, like I said, let me know. Okay, the December host code is here too. Okay, let's flip down so you can see it, and I can't wait to read all your comments later. I promise I will. Okay, going down. Sorry. Okay. So, I guess this is kind of where I want to be. I'll show you that card in a minute. Let me go right here. This is exactly where I want to be, I think. So I got my water bottle here. I got my host code. Here is the card. And let me go lower so you can see it. There we go. So sorry about this. Okay, so this card is so super easy to use. The paper, the designer paper, is 4 3/8 by 3 1/2. And you already see what I'm gonna do. It's so easy. Okay, so this is the Beauty of the Earth designer paper. I absolutely love this paper as well. So pretty. This is probably my favorite pattern in there, although there is a solid mixed blue that I also like. But so this is the paper, 4 3/8 high by 3 1/2 long. So it's almost the same, 3 1/2, almost 4 1/2, but not quite. So it's 4 3/8 by 3 1/2. And this is the perfect size to fit. I'll leave this here so you can write it down. There you go. What I'm going to do is stick it in my envelope. The flap face is down. This piece of paper goes right here in my envelope, sideways. And it's a, like I said, the 4 3/8 is the perfect size for this. So it's really, really easy. So next what I'm going to do is I've got my subtle shimmer sequins all ready to go here. And I've got a little 1/4 teaspoon. I think I've got a frog in my throat. Let me drink my water for a second. Okay, ready to go again. Except I made a mess. Okay, good thing it wasn't on my card. What I'm gonna do is take a 1/4 teaspoon of these sequins, and I am going to open my envelope like this, and I'm going to carefully pour them in the front of the envelope just like that. Maybe a tiny bit more, not too much more, because I also need these for class tomorrow night, and they were on back order for a while. Okay, so here we go for that. Now, I am going to take my scissor. This is my favorite craft scissor. I'm really sad that they don't carry it anymore. About 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/8 of an inch above the designer paper. I don't want to cut too close. If I cut too close, all of my sequins are going to leak out of the bag. But like this, I'm going to miter this a little bit. And the reason I'm mitering it is because I don't want this to show when I close my envelope. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. It doesn't matter how high you cut it, just make sure that it's above that. Now, I would say if what you're going to do next is close the envelope, and you've got your sequins here inside, kind of caught inside. I would say that you might not want to have too much air in there, but I will tell you, if you do have some air in there, your sequins are going to move a little bit easier. So if I was to do this and punch it, kind of squeeze out all the air, they're going to be trapped and they're going to be stuck in the same place. So I kind of want a little bit of air in there, just so they have a place to move. And what I'm going to do is fold this back, just like this, and seal my envelope. That's all there is to it. Isn't that cute? So now, this is what I did with this one. 4 3/8. This is the height now, and this is the perfect width of the envelope by 3 1/2. So now what I'm going to do is put this, I'm going to put these sequins out of the way for a minute so they don't spill, because I know me. I'm kind of funny that way. I kind of get in the way and kind of lose things. Now I want to mat this. So what I have here is a piece of cardstock that I'm going to mat it on. 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. Now, if I was going to do it a perfect 1/4 inch beyond each border, I did do a piece of paper. I didn't bring it here, but if I did it, so this was 4 3/8. If I did it 4 5/8, it just doesn't show because the seams of the plastic, the clear translucent envelope are a little bit bigger. So I really don't want that to show. So instead, I gave another 1/8 of an inch. So it's now 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. And what I'm going to do is move my water out of the way so I don't spill. And I haven't used this. I'm going to just attach this. You could attach it with tear and tape if you wanted to. I'm just going to use my glue, and I'm going to attach it to my cardstock, just like that. So there we go. All ready to go. Isn't that so cool? So now I've got my sequins in there, and they move around really easily. What I'm going to do next is very similar. I love this organza ribbon. So I am going to use this organza ribbon again on this card. I'm going to tie this around in a bow. Let me do this so that you can see what I'm doing. I had a comment that from somebody, it was actually a team member who watches my things regularly, and she said that a lot of times you see my lap. So I'm really working hard to move this out so you don't see my lap and you instead see my project. Now, I'm hoping that I'm not going to get online and see that you can't see my project at all because I'm not in the camera. Okay, there's my ribbon. Maybe I'll cut that tail a tiny bit more. Okay, so this is the 3/8 inch, I believe it is, 3/8 inch white glitter organdy ribbon. So that's what that is. Let's move that off. And now you probably wonder, oh, you know, that's really not that tight. Gonna do it again. It's because it's not close to me. So I apologize, but this has to be tighter. You really have to, let's do this again. I'll tie it a little bit tighter so that there's, when I let it go, there's gonna be more give. So it's just like tying a shoelace. That's so pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I think I like it similar to this, but now I'm going to do something a little different because I have a stamp set that I haven't used yet until today. I actually cut out a little bit. I'm not sure where I'm going to put that ribbon yet, so we're going to figure that out in a second, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do next. So I have next, the stamp set is called Angels of Peace, and I think it's so beautiful. And I imagined this beautiful angel off to the side here. It's a little bit large for that, so I didn't end up doing that. I ended up doing the smaller angel. I wish they had dies for that. Wouldn't that be so wonderful? They do have some really nice sentiments. I used the Christmas one because we are in the Christmas season. It's December 1st. Can you believe that, people? December 1st. Craziness. So anyway, what I did here, sorry, I've got something under my feet that's falling on me. What I did was I took this stamp, and I was going to do it for you, but unfortunately, I didn't bring it. So luckily, I did pre-stamp this and pre-emboss this. So I have this stamp. I stamped it in Versamark. I heat embossed it with the gold embossing powder. And I don't know if you've embossed, but that was probably one of the first things that I did that turned me on to stamping. Just watching the heat melt that powder and magically turn it into something else was just unbelievable to me. Like I said, it felt magical. And you know me and magic. I mean, I'm not into magic, but being a genie, I love my genie lamps. It's my symbol. It has nothing to do with magic. Okay, let me stop rambling and let me get back to this card. So what I did was I took this small stamp and I already pre-cut it and pre-embossed it. And I actually even pre-colored it. I did it with the dark shaded spruce blend and the light poppy parades blend. And then of course her hair is the dark daffodil delight, and I use the light petal pink on her face. I should have put a little bit of pink. I always use Flirty Flamingo on my cheeks, but I've kind of forgot that. So anyway, what I wanted to do, I was thinking, was attaching this. Originally, I thought I'd attach it up here, but I don't know why, but to me, it looked like she was flying, and she doesn't look like a flying angel. So I'm instead going to put her off to the side here. And I think I'm going to pop her up with some dimensionals. So let me get some dimensionals here. I've got lots. They're even stuck to each other. So let's do that. One more dimensional here. And what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to put it off here to the side, just kind of down here. That's what I want to do, I think. And then what I did was I took this stitched rectangle. Now this stitched rectangle is part of the Stitch So Sweetly dies. Very pretty, very scalloped. Again, I embossed it. Peace on earth, goodwill towards men. What I was thinking I would do with that is put it up here and emboss that. So I'm going to show you for a second if I have it with me. Do I have that stamp with me? Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I emboss, and you'll understand what I'm saying when I say the magic of embossing. Now, you have to forgive me because this is a non-Stampin' Up. I'm going to put these off to the side. You probably by now have seen the measurements. This is the measurement of the rectangle, the Stitch So Sweetly scalloped rectangle. This is the cardstock mat, and that is the size of the designer paper that goes in the envelope. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my embossing buddy, and if you can't get an embossing buddy, you probably can, but if you can't, it's just basically cornstarch inside of a cloth envelope, and you can stitch it up. I feel like mine is getting low, but so this is what we have. We have our Versamark ink, and I'm going to just stamp in the center of my basic white cardstock. Now, right now, let me put those out of the way so they don't get lost. Oops, sorry about that. Right now, I need a new Versamark pad. This one isn't very clean, but you can't, oh, I know what I was gonna say. Right now, you cannot see the ink on here, but so I'm gonna show you. This is a little bit more of the magic. I have this spoon. I think I got it from Orange Leaf when there was frozen yogurt around. I kept the spoons, and that's what I kept. I have this little Glad container, and I'm gonna put that on there. I have to put my powder in a container, otherwise it makes a big mess. So there we have that. Let me cover that up. Can you see me dropping the container, and all of a sudden it goes all over the place? So this is what we're going to see. You're going to watch the magic on this piece of paper. And I do want to give one more tip before I get going. If for some reason you have stray marks, if you have stray powder, do your best to get rid of it, because if you don't, it is going to show up on your project. That melted, the spray of maybe, you know, powder here and there, when it melts, it shows up as spots of powder. So you really do want to get rid of that. If you need to get very close and get rid of it, I use these small mini makeup brushes. One of my best customers hooked me on that. She gave me a container of them. I think they use it to add glue to the fake eyelashes, but it works so well to get rid of the stray powder. So let me use my, I'm just gonna melt this real quick so you can see the magic. I'm gonna stop for a second because I want you to see the difference. You can see, if you look at this, if I hold this, let's do that so that you can see it. I'm so sorry. I hope most of this hasn't been off. You can see right here, it's very shiny, and you see it's dull there. That's what tells me that it's not ready yet. So let's keep going for a second. And there we go. Voila, the magic. Isn't that so pretty? I feel like it used to be more gold than it is now, but it's still very pretty. Okay, next what I did was I ran this through my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And let me do that very quickly for you, because a lot of times I don't do that in front of you. But this thing is so handy. It's like a little purse. And then what I do is I have this piece of shelf lining that I put in there, just like that. I'm gonna put this on here, get my die from my Stitch So Sweetly collection. Just realized I'm kind of in the dark here. So sorry. Maybe, I guess I realized it now because this is causing a shadow. Maybe you have seen better, but let's just do this very quickly. I should have stock in 3M right now. I'm telling you, I use Post-it notes for everything. I use it to write my measurements on the back of my cards, like that. I use it to write little notes to myself. I actually have it all over my house, as positive reinforcement. Every time I see a Post-it note hanging, it's telling me that I am going to have a great day. And sure enough, I do. Okay, so here we have this. Let me put the die back here. So what I'm going to do next is add this card base to, I'm going to add the cardstock, the designer paper envelope, to my card base. The regular, like I said, 5.5 by 8.5. Just like that. I don't want to mark up my envelope and get it too dirty. Just use my sweater. There we go. And then I'm going to take this. I think I'm going to put this, yeah, I'm just going to put it right up here in the corner, I think. I really don't want to hide the trees, but they are going to end up hiding a tiny bit. So let's see. I'll put it up here. Just kind of overlap it like that a little bit. I don't want everything so perfectly lined up, but look at this. Isn't that so pretty? A nice, easy card. Not quite as pretty as this one. This is definitely my favorite, but it is pretty nonetheless. You'll see with this one, I actually took the Wink of Stella. If you don't recognize this, just making sure I'm still in the camera, if you don't recognize this snowflake, it's from the gingerbread dies. Love these dies, absolutely love them. There is a solid and a detailed snowflake, as well as an ornament, a bell, and a star. So lots of options, but I took the Wink of Stella to here. So that's that card. I do want to do one other one because I haven't used this paper at all. This is, I have to say, it's not my favorite paper. I am very traditional when it comes to Christmas, but I figured, you know what? I have 2 packages of this paper. Christmas is almost here. It's about time to use it. So I'm going to show you this card that I'm going to make. This is the same thing. This is the whimsical paper. Whimsy and Wonder, I believe, is the name of the designer paper. Once again, my flap is facing down. I'm going to stick my designer paper into here, and I'm going to have my shiny side up because I want to people to see the beautiful pattern of that. It's such a great fit that you really have to kind of finagle it in there. There we go. So we got that. Let me get my sequins again. And I'm going to dump these in the front like that. And the same thing as before. I'm going to take my scissor and cut off an end. Trying to be, and that's so that you don't see that when I fold it over. I didn't show it to you before I cut it, but you would notice there would be a little bit on the outside if I hadn't done this. So let's take that off. This is so easy. It's already got the adhesive on there. All I'm doing is moving that. See, this one has more air in it. You see that? And see how easy those move? So beautiful. So this, I have some Misty Moonlight. Again, same thing, 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. I'm going to attach that here. Let me show you. I'm going to do this one with the tear and tape because I think it'll stick a little bit better. Why not? I love my tear and tape. You could use your Seal Plus if you wanted to. I have not been converted to a Seal Plus or Seal lover yet. Working on it. I do have it. I do use it occasionally, but I really am a glue, dimensional, and tear and tape type of person. Now, do I have my, I don't. I wanted to use my tool, my take your pick tool, to show you something really quick and easy for this, but we'll do it anyway. I'm going to just get, yeah, it's not going to work. If I had my take your pick tool, I could show you how easy it is to lift up this adhesive. let me get this back out of the way because it's not the same. But if I had my take your pick tool, I could just put the spatula under there in the middle. It lifts it right up, and there you go. Okay, so here we go. And it doesn't matter what it looks like beforehand. What matters is once it's on the card. So here we have our card, and this is the right side up. I'm going to add it right there. Since I don't have any other ribbon, I guess we're going to use the white organdy ribbon again. That wasn't a hard decision. It is actually, like I said, one of my favorites right now. There are lots of others that I could use, though, for sure, of course. There is the Blushing Bride ribbon, even though I heard that it was on low inventory. It was not orderable for a while. Mine finally came in, the Blushing Bride frayed ribbon. And then I heard it quickly sold out again. So there we go. Cut my thing right there. And then I'm going to add it to my paper. What I did was I used the Baubles dies. I don't have the stamp set. I bought the dies. I figured it would make great gift tags. So I used the silver. This is the gunmetal. I call it gunmetal from the silver foil specialty pack. There were 3 different colors of silver. This is the dark one, my favorite one to use, and it kind of goes with the Misty Moonlight a little bit. So what I'm going to do before I attach this, I added some, I'm going to need my tool to poke out a few more pieces here. There aren't too many, but there's a couple of extra pieces. So this one has so much detail to it that I decided that I wanted to make sure that I could attach it. So let's see if I can find the spot. I actually put it on, oh my goodness, I put it on adhesive sheet and it's on there so well I don't even think I can feel where it is. There it is. So look at this. When I die cut it, I die cut it with the adhesive sheet. And it's not a full amount. You don't need the full amount. Most of it is going to, as long as some of it sticks, we're going to be in good shape. And then maybe I'll just put a dab of glue underneath right there. So there we go. Now what I decided I wanted to do was almost make it look like a hanger. Now, glue all over me. With this, I am going to use the Elegant Trim, and I don't have a hole in there. So what I'm going to do is just pretend I've got a hole in there. And I am going to attach this. Okay, don't watch, I'm using some Scotch tape just to attach this to the back of my thing here. And then what I'm going to do, this is all trial and error, by the way. I haven't done this. I don't know if it's going to work or not. And maybe I should have used mint macaron instead of the soft seafoam, but I wanted the light green. So what I'm going to do is, again, attach it. I'm going to cut a length of this and attach it behind my card. And then what I will do after that, if all goes well, what I'm going to do is pop this up with some dimensionals. So we'll do that. Just put some dimensionals on there for you. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm being really neat about the dimensional pieces because usually I put them on my table and they get all over everything. Okay, so what we're going to do here, flip it over and attach it right to the front, just like that. Now I'll take my glue and I'm going to attach this to my 5.5 by 8.5 inch card base that I've scored at 4 1/4, the usual card base. And I'm going to put that right there. And although this is not my favorite card, because like I said, I'm a very traditional red and green type of Christmas person. It is beautiful, isn't it? So look at that. And people are going to feel special because you went to the trouble of this extra card. They have no idea how easy this was. I think it was probably the easiest card I've made in a long time. So you've got your 3 cards here. Again, there's my December host code if you want to order these clear envelopes. I'll show you the cards close up once more. There we go. The baubles die, and it also has an outline die, a solid outline die that I popped it up on. There's only 4 dies in this. There's a joy, and then there's a more ornate, longer die, which also would have been very pretty. Maybe I'll use that on something else with the traditional colors. There is your Peaceful Place paper. It's sold out, people. I'm so sorry. It's already gone. And then we, of course, have our Beauty of the Earth paper, which is so beautiful, and our Angels of Peace stamp set, cut out with the Stitch So Sweetly dies. So these are the 4 cards. I hope you enjoyed these. Remember to leave me a comment so I know you were here, because I read all those comments. Let me flip you back. There we go. So glad to see you guys. Oh, Judy, I'm so glad you made it. You made it through the day. And all of you, I'm so happy that you were able to join me today. I had so much fun making these cards, and I'm going to be making many, many more until I run out of clear envelopes. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful night and keep stamping. Bye, everybody.